Welcome to our Posh podcast. I'm Gabrielle. I'm your host with my daughter Marcella.
Hello.
And my co-host Patrick, my husband, who
Hello.
is standing in for Bernie because Bernie had to leave and he's going to be so sad he's not here with the guests we have. And Spider, our DJ.
Hello, hello.
And we have a special super guest on today, Miss Carrie Minter.
Yeah.
She is a life-size Barbie doll. Everyone needs to watch YouTube, please, because she is not only beautiful, but she's also smart, amazing, boss babe. So many things about you, but she's also was a Playmate.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk all about Carrie's life from how she started from the beginning and then go into her business that she built, and we're going to get to know all about her. So we're very excited that you're here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. This is going to be so fun. I'm a little nervous, but it'll be fun.
Let's drink some more champagne.
Okay.
Keep drinking.
So I wanted to start with, tell us a little bit where you were born. Tell us how you got your start.
So I was born in Dallas, and I actually grew up in Mesquite. And my parents, they got divorced when I was 15. But yeah, I grew up here in Texas, and I moved to LA, I want to say when I was about 18.
So when you were growing up, I know that you have a brother that is autistic.
Yes.
How
I
is he,
do.
younger or older?
He's actually younger. He's 5 years younger, and he is just very severely autistic. Like, he's nonverbal. So he doesn't talk. It's kind of like, it's a struggle. I mean, he's happy, and but it was definitely, probably not the easiest childhood,
really hard.
on my parents and also on him, of course. And it was a bit challenging.
I bet hard on you too.
Yes.
Because doesn't all the attention usually go to
It does.
to a child with a handicap? So then it's kind of hard to figure out how the whole family functions, right?
Right.
So I know that you modeled. You were a
Yes.
model, which is not surprising. When did you start modeling?
So I actually started modeling when I was 15, and in Dallas, I entered a modeling competition, and I actually won it, which was really surprising. And I was kind of like a very awkward teenager, but I'm so happy I had that because it kind of helped with my self-confidence a lot. Like, I had really low self-esteem at the time. I was very not popular at all in school, and so then I started modeling locally in the Dallas market. So it was fun. It was great. It was great for me at the time.
Were you with an agent?
I was.
What
I was with Elite in New York, and then I had an agent. They're not here anymore. Called Now, but I also worked with like the Kim Dawson Agency, which I think is still around.
Yeah, they're still.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what made you move to California?
So I I really wanted to be an actress, and that was just what I always wanted to do. And so, and I had a really hard time, with my mom. Like, we did not get along at all when I was growing up, especially in my teenage years. And so I just thought, that's it. As soon as I turn 18, I'm getting out of here. I'm going, goodbye. And I was like, I'm going to move to LA. I'm going to become this actress. It's all going to work out. And so I moved to LA, and then that was a whole struggle in itself because I had no money, maybe like $200 to my name when I went there.
So when you made that decision, did you know anyone there?
I had a couple friends that were there that were kind of doing the same thing, like just trying to act, but not, I didn't know a lot of people, but I met a lot of people.
Were you scared at all?
I wasn't really scared. I was more excited because, my mom is very conservative. She was very strict, and I'm kind of, opposite of that. and so like I said, we just never got along. And I felt like once I got to LA, it was like, wow, like this is where I should have been all along. Like, I finally felt like accepted, and it was just so, non-judgmental.
Felt like home.
And exactly. There was no judgment. it felt like home from day one. So I loved it. And then I started auditioning eventually. And then I just realized that I'm a terrible actress and I wasn't booking anything.
Hey, I saw you were in Dukes of Hazzard.
You were? And like maybe a couple scenes, you know. I think I had like so 2 cute. Lines.
That's so cute, though. I think it's so cute. It's on your IMDb.
Is that with Jessica
page.
Simpson?
No, that was
the
movie.
I think it was Dukes of Hazzard, the beginning. This was like back in.
You were a sunbathing girl. That's
so cute.
Your mom.
I know, she finds everything.
Everything. We're like, holy
Carrie's
crap.
like, wait, I wasn't that.
I'm like, oh God.
Now she's terrified what else she knows.
No, but this one is funny. She was in a TV series called Minding the Store.
Yes.
But what they said you were was a blonde bimbo.
Number 1. Yeah, number 1. Blonde bimbo, number 1.
So there's more than one in the show?
There were 2. That was the one. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, you got some stuff. They said it could have been awful.
I know.
That's more than most.
That was the stuff I was getting. So then, and I wasn't making any money. And so then after a while, after like 6 months, I was like, maybe this whole acting thing just is not going to work out for me.
So what did you do next?
So then I started modeling again. And so when I was a teenager, I was more kind of awkward looking. Like I was probably like,
I can't imagine.
No,
I can't
was.
either.
Like how?
We need proof.
Well, I was very like tall and skinny. Like I'm like 5'8", 5'9", but I hit that height at like 15, but probably like, 20 pounds less, like just very thin, very kind of I just had like a weird look. and so that's why like I signed with an agency in New York. I went to New York for a little bit and worked there, and it was like more editorial stuff. And then as I got older, in my late teens, early 20s, I started, I looked a little bit more commercial, and LA is a very like glamour market for modeling. So, and then also too, I'm not super, super tall. So, I started doing more like swimsuit, lingerie. And,
you worked for Elegant Moments.
I did.
I have to touch on that because that went out to Posh Boutique, since I've done that for a long time. And
for those who don't know,
and Elegant Moments is one of my wholesalers, always has been. So
I love that.
It's funny, once I got to know you, I'm like, my gosh, I feel like I've known you forever.
So
crazy.
The funniest part about that, just to pause really fast, is Carrie and I were at her house. And at one point, I think I went to the bathroom, like her guest bathroom, and then I was looking in her other rooms, and I looked down and I was like, oh my God, she was on the box of the Elegant Moments. And I was like, Mom, I think we've been looking at Carrie's face for forever, which is really funny.
So Chino, who is really enamored with you.
My brother.
He thinks you're the most beautiful thing he has ever seen.
He has like hard eyes.
Yes.
He told me to tell you that he can't wait to see you in Mexico.
Yeah.
He actually stopped by the house today and parked behind my truck before I pulled out to tell me that.
No way.
He goes, I saw your lights on, so I knew you hadn't left yet, so I waited for you to pull right behind me so I couldn't get out. And I'm sitting in the truck. I rolled down the way. He's like, hey, I just wanted you to tell Carrie I can't wait to see her in Mexico.
Oh my gosh. He's so sweet. He's like the nicest guy.
He's so sweet. So Chino used to work for me. He helped with all the shipping. So he's like, you mean I've known her all this time?
On the box.
That is so funny.
A working relationship.
That is so funny. Yeah, I worked for them for like a couple of years. They were really nice.
They're so nice. They're one of my absolute favorite companies to still work with.
I love that.
Did you shoot for them while you were in New York? Is that where they
No,
are?
I shot for them in LA. And it was probably about several different times, I guess. I guess the last time was probably like 8 or 10 years ago, but I started shooting with them probably like 12 years ago. So for a long time. Yeah.
I mean, I remember like your face.
I know.
Like, you are their girl.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Small world.
Yeah, such a small world.
Well, I think lingerie never goes out of fashion. So it's like, it'll stay around for forever.
Right, exactly. Right. And they still use those photos. It's kind of funny. Like I'll still see like, it's kind of like the sex stores or something. Like, and sometimes when I see it, I just want to buy it because I'm like, this is so funny. It's like, never made it to Victoria's Secret, but it's at the local sex shop or wherever. on the box.
Close.
I mean, there's only a few wholesalers though that like it's E&D, it's Elegant Moments, it's Be Wicked. There's some of them that are the most important, and they only pick the most beautiful girls.
That's
so
true.
there you go.
You're so sweet.
So from that, while you're modeling, did you make enough money then? Or then how did you end up? I want to know how you ended up in the Playboy Mansion. I mean, that is just such a big thing.
So I actually didn't make a lot of money modeling at all. No, it was hard. It was like paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. And I worked at this bikini bar in Orange County, and you would just wear a bikini and like serve beer and wine. And so I did that. And then I met this guy while I was working there. And then right away, he's like, oh, well, I moved in with him. We moved way too fast. But I moved in with him right away. And he was like, I don't want you working there anymore. And I was like, okay. And so then I told him, I was like, well, and I continued, modeling and going on auditions and stuff. And it's it's hard to make it as a model. And so I told him one day, I was like, I think I'm just going to try out for Playboy. And then he was kind of like laughing about it, like, oh, okay, Carrie. And I was like, what? You don't think I could be in it? And he was like, that's probably really hard. Probably no. And I was like, then it made me like really mad. And I was like, I'm going to try it, And so then I went in, and I actually, they had you come in. It was like 2 days a week. They did like Polaroid day. So you like go in, and it was the Santa Monica studio. And you basically just, take your clothes off and they take
Was
Polaroids.
it a naked audition? Like for real?
Well, I think it was topless. I can't remember if I wore bottoms or not, but it was definitely topless. But I went in and I did it, and it was super fast, super easy. And I didn't think anything of it. And then they called me back the next day, and they were like, we want you to come in and, test for Playmate, to test for centerfold. And I was like, wow, really? So I was so excited. And then I told my boyfriend at the time, and he was just like completely shocked. And I was like, I'm going to do this in a month. I got a month, because they were really like, at the time, the photographer who had kind of helped me. I'm trying to think how it happened. Did I send in my own? Oh, I guess so I worked with this photographer first, and then I guess he sent in photos of me, and then they called me, and then I went in for Polaroid day or something. But he was like, like all the Playmates, they're really working out. They're really in shape. You're going to do your test shoot. You got a month to he was very hardcore, like to get in shape, be tan. And I was like, oh God. So I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, I got to work out. No more pizza, no more. So I worked out for about a month, and then I went in and I did the test shoot. It was super fun. And then a few weeks after that, they called me, and they were like, Hef saw your photos, and he wants to meet you. And
what did you think when you heard that? I mean, that's not every day.
I was super excited.
Were you nervous?
I was very nervous, but also very excited. And my boyfriend at the time kind of became more and more controlling. And so I knew
he was like super jealous.
Super jealous, because he thought this was never going to happen for me. And I'm like, oh, now I'm actually going to meet Hef, you know? So, and he just got more and more controlling. But Hef invited me to come and stay the weekend. And then after that, he was like, I'd love for you to move in. You're welcome here anytime. Whatever you want to do. I love having you around.
Tell me about that though, like the mansion. I mean, I've seen it in
pictures.
We
got to get a little more detail on that.
No, I just want to know, when you first went there, like, do you get a tour? Like,
yes. So at the time, Holly Madison was his main girlfriend. And so she gave me the tour, and I was...
So when you meet her, is she jealous now of you right away, or how does that work?
She was actually very, very nice. She probably was nice, and like I think I'm sure she didn't like. I mean, I know she didn't like all those girls coming in all the time, but she kind of that's part of her job. Like she has to be nice, at least at first, to host the girls, show them around, So she it was me and another girl that arrived at the same time, and she was going to be like on there. I think it was like their September cover or whatever. So it was like the two of us that were, staying for the weekend to meet Hef. I guess Hef had wanted to meet her too, because, he was putting her on the cover. So
and what were you going to get?
So I guess the Playmate centerfold, or I didn't even really know. I was just happy to be there. I was just like, okay.
So, do you drive there, or are you being picked up in a car?
I drove there.
So you drive there. Mm-hmm. Are you nervous? Like freaking out?
Yes. Oh yes. So nervous. And then you pull up to the rock, and then they have your name on the list, and it's like you talk to this rock, kind of like rock, which is like a security person, But you pull up,
So
you talk to them.
it's this huge mansion.
Talk to
Have
the
you
rock.
ever been in one like this before?
I had never. And I grew up very, I did not grow up, anything fancy. I grew up very lower middle class. I did not come from money or anything at all. So
now you're
for me,
driving
it was
up
like,
to this.
whoa, where, like this is
You
insane.
had to feel like you won the lottery.
Oh, totally. And I wasn't even, I think I was like 19 or 20. So I was, still
So
kind
young.
of like, just like, wow. Like, but yeah, and then I was too, because I really wanted to be an actress before. I was like, this is it. I'm going to move into the mansion. And my whole life, wasn't really like what I thought, but it was an amazing time in my life.
But like that moment, I want to really go back to that because so now you're talking to the rock,
Right.
I would say what is it called?
From Charlie's Angels, like Charlie.
No, it's like an intercom.
speaker box.
Yeah, it's
intercom.
like a speaker box
Right.
where they have security, but it's like this rock that you talk to, and they can see you.
They can see
and
you.
then-
Just to be clear, it's not Dwayne Johnson standing there. It's an actual rock.
That's true.
So they let you in.
Yes.
I'm assuming. So
Yes.
now you drive up to the front door or what?
Yes, so I drive up to the front, to the valet, and then
they have an actual valet there. all the
yes,
time.
yes,
Okay.
and then they have guys there, and so then they,
You
come
get out.
I get out. They come, they take my keys, they show me in to the mansion, and then
Is it a big foyer? What lobby? What?
Yes, it's like
And
it's
now
like
what?
right in the front room. I guess like the main area.
Sounds like your mom wants to go to the mansion. Good Lord.
It's a phenomenal building. I mean, it's beautiful.
Can you get her in? I mean, it sounds like she really wants to go.
I wish
Talk to the rock.
since I've passed away and everything, but I know it's owned by somebody else now. But that would be amazing. I would love to go back.
I'm surprised it's not
So
like
is that where Holly
museum.
is waiting for you? Or not?
So she wasn't there yet. So I think at first, I'm trying to think, this was a while ago. But I believe it was one of his butlers. It was actually yes, one of his butlers that I met first that came in, and then they offer you a drink and make sure they're like, are you hungry? You want a drink, some water, glass of wine, something. And I wasn't even 21, so I was like, sure, yes, okay. And then Holly comes out maybe like 30 minutes later, and I'm just kind of sitting in the dining room having a drink, talking to the butler. They're kind of talking about what goes on at the mansion,
What they
who's
tell
living
you?
there. Well, I was like, well, who all lives here? What's going on? And I guess so 2 days a week, they were saying that they have girls coming in basically to meet Hef, girls that are shooting, girls that he might want, new girls, more girls that he might even be interested in. I don't know.
Can we just pause for a second? Because if you're at all like in this like age range, like in your 30s, or I mean, you have to remember The Girls Next Door. So that was a show on
Yes, on E.
on
Yes.
E. So I love The Girls Next
That was
Door.
Holly. Holly was in that show.
Yes.
Holly and
Right.
Bridget and what's the other one? Holly, Bridget, and
Kendra.
And Kendra, they're on the show. I watch that show all the time. Carrie lived in the mansion during right.
It was right before that.
before.
Right before that.
So it's those girls.
yes.
So they weren't all living there yet. Was just Holly?
No, they actually were.
Oh,
So
they were.
they were all. It was the three of
How
them.
many girls lived there at one time?
So it was anywhere from 12 to 7, and then he went down to 3 because I think he realized the more girlfriends, he had,
More
the
drama.
more drama, the more cattiness. And even with the
Good
3,
Lord.
there was a lot of drama. Just there's a lot it's kind of like everyone, I thought it was so funny because everyone was always fighting over Hef, like any new girl that, like I said, they were nice in the beginning, but then after a while it'd be like, the new girls were always like a threat, and I'm like, what? There's calm down. Nobody's trying to steal Hef away or go run away with Hef or I'm like, it was kind of
So
it
did
was
you
funny.
fight with anybody in there?
I didn't fight with anyone
I
in
can't
there.
imagine
I
you ever
mean,
fighting.
no, that's not my personality.
Did anybody there fight with you?
I know they didn't like me. And in the beginning they were very friendly, I think, because they had to be. But then after a while, I just got so uncomfortable just being there that I was like, I don't really want to live here anymore. I don't want to be around here.
So do you have every girl has her own room, or do you have to share rooms?
So every girl has their own room, and then there's also the guest house, which has I guess at the time there were 3 different guest houses. So when I first got there, like I said, a butler showed me around. Then I met Holly. She was super nice. And then she showed me and the other girl that had arrived too, who was shooting the cover. She showed us both around all the property, all the animals, all the outside stuff, which was really fun. So we probably spent about 30, 40 minutes just on this whole tour, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then she showed us into one of the guest houses and she's like, okay, this is where, you're staying for the weekend, make yourself at home. If you need anything, let me know. And then she was just like, dinner is tonight I guess dinner was at like 7 or something. And she's like, we're going to meet, downstairs in the dining room at 6:15. We like to have a drink before we go to dinner. And then the limo will pick us up and then we'll go to dinner. And then we were going to a club after. I was like, okay, cool.
That sounds fun.
Especially at that age. You're like, yeah.
But you haven't met Hef yet.
I didn't meet him yet. So I didn't meet him until we went into the dining room. And then all the girls were there. And it was like Kendra, Bridget, a couple other girls had arrived too, who I guess were shooting. So there was probably a group of like 6 girls total, including the girlfriends. And so everybody's having a drink and whatever you want to drink is there for you, and the butler will get it. And then Hef comes down probably like 10 minutes before the limo is taking us to dinner. And so I met him and probably talked to him for like a couple minutes. He was very nice, very kind.
Was he in his robe?
He was no. I'm trying to think. He was actually dressed because we were going to dinner.
Where were you going?
We went to, it was this place called Bliss, I think. I don't know what it is now in LA. I feel like all the restaurants and nightclubs changed so much.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it would be now, or I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was a very popular place at the time. So
I can only imagine the limo pulling up and Hef getting out with 7 girls.
Yes.
Well, I feel
Yeah,
like
but he's been doing that his whole life.
Well, yeah.
He's been doing
I
that
don't
for
care
50
about
years
his
at that
whole.
point.
I don't care about his whole life. I'm caring about it right now because Carrie did it.
But
I want to know
also-
about
Oh,
her
that's
experience.
Also, I feel like, Playboy has like all these magazines. They have all kinds of things. And a lot of girls say they've been in Playboy and they have done Playboy. But Carrie was like really like she lived there. And then I saw her like
that's
she has
the
a
elite.
book. And I was like, oh my God, like you were like a real,
Right.
I consider that like a real Playmate.
Getting
Like,
in the magazine is very hard, but getting to the mansion is like
yeah,
And living
lottery.
there.
and living
Yeah.
there. It's like,
that's like a
big deal.
It's a handful.
It's a huge deal.
A huge deal. And she's very modest. But I was
Right.
looking through the book, like, it's crazy. Like, you lived that life.
I think it's crazy the history of it though, because so many people. I mean, let's face it, they weren't the first 7 at the mansion.
No, of course
So
not.
you have, by this time, he's probably been doing this for 40 years
Right.
at least.
Well, and it's, it's some of the big time people that, like, what is it, the Marilyn Monroe?
Right.
Anna Nicole
Exactly,
Smith.
the history of it.
Who Carrie and I realized that we both love Anna Nicole Smith.
I love her.
We love her.
Okay, so we
should
want
all
to go
do
to
our
Mahia.
day trip. Yes.
Where are you
first
going?
in the night. Where
We
she
wanna
was
go to
born
Mahia.
in Mahia.
And that's where my family's from.
Oh, spider.
I love that.
Well, we went to her grave.
We did go
In
to her
Bahamas.
grave in Bahamas.
That is so amazing. I love her.
We tried-
I thought she was so beautiful.
We tried to watch her story, her show on E, and we couldn't find like full episodes.
Did we have to watch it on YouTube
Yeah.
or something?
Oh, it was horrible. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything.
No, we loved it though.
We loved
Oh my
it.
gosh.
She was so entertaining.
So anyway,
yeah.
that's a little
She
side
was a
note. But
mess.
you have the big, famous people. In
The
the
history is
magazine.
incredible.
The history is incredible.
The
and
people that came before you, I mean, it's really a huge
a
thing.
huge deal.
But that's why I'm like picturing all of it. Like when you were there and you were in the limo with Hef. I mean, at that moment, what goes through your head?
I think I was just so nervous and
Were you?
just so like wanting everyone to like me and
Right.
accept me because these were girls like who had, everything perfect, designer handbags, everything. And I didn't even know like what Chanel was then or anything. And I was like, I bought my clothes from like Target.
Yeah.
And like, I was just like so happy to be there.
You
if
were the girl
anything.
next door.
Yeah, literally.
So I was just like, oh my God, I hope I don't like say anything bad or do anything bad. And like, I hope everybody likes me. And I was just so happy and excited, but also very nervous. But it was amazing. It was an amazing time in my life. I wish I would have been a little bit older, a little more mature, to kind of handle all that. Cause it was like going from one life to a completely different life. And I definitely
Overnight.
was not ready for that. Not even being 21 yet and stuff. It was just, like a culture shock, you know, but
Right.
it was fun. I mean, I'm really thankful because I met, you know, some of my best friends at the Playboy Mansion. I met some great connections, and I'll always have those memories.
Yeah.
And even after I got divorced, it was always a nice place I could go and stay and be there. That it was like Hef just kind of took in all these girls, you know, and like if you didn't have anywhere to stay, if you were alone on
So
Christmas,
you could always call on him
You could-
even after you left?
Yes, even after I left. Well, it was more like calling his like secretary. But you could always, you know, call on call, and like he would always say, you know, like for years and years, oh, well, you know, like are you going to be with your family on Christmas? Do you have a place to go on Thanksgiving? You know, you make sure you come here. Like he really
What
made
year was
his
this?
home. This was, I would say, like 2004 to 2000 and I mean, for years and years after that, you know, like I said, after I got divorced, I think in 2012.
How long did you live there actually?
Not very long. Not very long. Like I want to say like several months. Not long. Yeah, not too long. But I still would go up all the time. I mean, even after I moved out, I still would go up on weekends and stuff. Just the girls, it just got to be too much. And I'm so sensitive. And then I was even more sensitive. And I just don't, like I said, I don't think I was like prepared for that whole world. And I was just like, you know, like maybe it's better to just like take a step back. But then even when I was 24, I got married and I would bring, you know, my ex-husband up there and we would go to parties there. So I still always had, you know, that in my life. Yeah.
So tell me when you left and then met your husband.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
It's a perfect like transition.
Uh-huh.
So I left. I'm trying to think like what year that was. Right. I guess I was 23. And I left and I moved into an apartment in Hollywood. It was like right off of Hollywood Boulevard. It was like kind of a crazy area.
I do have one more question.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to ask. When you live in the mansion, how do you get paid?
That's what I was going to ask.
Do you get a paycheck?
I didn't. I know the girlfriends did though. Yes, I know. Yes.
But so how do you
make
work?
money?
You don't. But you get to be there. You get to, you know,
So
all your
Like
you have
room and
no
board.
expenses
Oh,
really.
gotcha.
You know, yeah,
So that's like your pay.
yeah.
But like shopping and that kind of thing, would they let you shop and pay for that too? Or
Oh yeah,
like clothes and whatever
exactly.
you
And like
want?
at the salon, anything you want, any kind of like, you
Okay,
know,
that makes
So they
sense.
basically just
Yeah.
provide you your lifestyle,
Gotcha.
Right.
So they don't
but
just
no
give you a
cash flow.
check.
Yeah.
Right. But if I wanted money though, like Hef was very cool. Like if I needed something for something, I could just ask him and he would give it to you. But I know like, you know, the like main girlfriend, like, you know, Holly, like I know, yeah, she was like on the payroll. But I wasn't. But also like it wasn't like my personality to just come in and like ask for things, you know, like it's just not, you know, it never really hit me like that. Like, oh, maybe all these girls are getting like, maybe I should, you know, but I was just like, no.
One more question. When Hef passed away, that make you sad? Like
It did.
Had
It
to be.
did. I feel like probably the last time I saw him, trying to think, when did he pass away? In 2017. So it must have been, I probably saw him like the last time I saw him was probably 5 years ago. And I don't know if he even like knew who I was or
Really?
remembered who I was. Like his Alzheimer's was so bad. And I remember after that, I talked to Jenny, who was his like secretary for several years. And she's like, yeah, you know, like his Alzheimer's is so bad, you know, like girls like you who, you know, have been coming up here, you know, for the past 10 years. It's like he just, you know, he doesn't know who
remember.
anyone is
Oh,
anymore.
that's sad.
And then his wife, Crystal, got a little bit, I want to say like, kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, but
Territorial.
territorial. And she kind of cut, like it used to always be like on the weekends, like, you know, all the girls could come up, like dinner and movie night, like any Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Oh, really?
come up and stay, do whatever you want. So it was really nice because after I got divorced, it was like a place I could go and like have fun with my friends and just be in a great atmosphere and just be there, being back there, like just, it was so much fun. And then once she kind of came in and married him, she kind of cut a lot of
All
those
that.
girls and stuff. So it was kind of like, and then I felt like he had really no control over that
Right.
because, you know, of his Alzheimer's.
So now you move out. You move in an apartment.
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes. So I moved in an apartment and And then I was still, like doing a little bit of modeling here and there. And one of my girlfriends and I just happened to be at the grocery store at Ralph's like one day. And we run into this guy and she's like, oh, that's Sebastian. That's my Pilates teacher. Like, let's go say hi. And I'm like, okay. So we go say hi to him. And then we talked to him for a little bit.
He's from France. He had a super heavy accent.
Yes. He's French. And I guess she liked him. She thought he was hot. And she's like, oh, like we really need to hang out. Because he was talking. You could tell he was interested in us. And was like, oh, girls, I want to hang out with you. And she's like, okay, well, call us. And then later she's like, he's so hot. Like we should have a threesome with him. Like, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to have a threesome with you and your Pilates teacher. Like it's just not happening. Like, no. And then I guess like, a few weeks went by and he kept just asking her about me. And so she was like, hey, like, he's not really interested in me. He just wants to go out with you. So you should just go out with him. Like, he's a nice guy. He's a great catch. He, owns this Pilates studio. He's a successful business guy. Like, and he really likes you. Like, why don't you go out with him? And I was like, all right, whatever. So then he picked me up from my apartment on our first date in his Lamborghini, and then we basically got married 6 weeks later in Vegas.
So just to touch on him for 1 second, his name is Sebastian. Legree.
Yes,
and he created his own method of Pilates.
He did,
which is kind of amazing,
right? Legree Fitness. Yes.
So did he do that while he was in France or when he was in
when he was in the States? Yes. So he grew up in France and then I believe he moved to the States when he was like 17 and kind of similar to me. Like he wanted to he really wanted to be an actor. And but he's tall and he's very kind of like a big guy, or not big, but just kind of like a muscular guy. And so I guess people were always asking him if he was a trainer. And so and same thing, he wasn't booking any roles, he wasn't booking anything. And so then after a while he was like, screw this, like I'm just going to become a trainer. And then he developed asking me anyway. And then he just ended up developing his own method. But when I met him, he had one location in West Hollywood, and then he opened up one in like Beverly Hills, and then one in Hollywood, and then one in like Dublin, and then it just went on. And then now I think he's got to have at least 500 or 600 worldwide. What? When we divorced, I think he had 500 worldwide. So that was like 7 years ago. So now I don't even know how many he has, but I don't really have a lot of nice things to say about my ex-husband, but I will say he was an amazing mentor. He had a great work ethic, and I think being around that was
taught you
great. Taught me a lot.
So when you got married in 6 weeks,
yes.
How long were you married?
I was married I had just turned 24, so I want to say 24, and then we got divorced right before I turned 30. So for about 6 years.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
And
well, when you know someone,
no, I just want her to tell what she wants. I don't want to. I mean, I have a million questions, but I don't want to do that to her.
I want to hear what she has bad to say. Don't worry, we'll edit it.
Well, when someone basically when I met him, he was successful, but he wasn't. He made a lot of money while he was married to me, and he was. He kind of grew up the same way I did. He didn't really grow up with money and stuff, and so his ego kind of went from. He already had a little bit of an ego when I met him, and then it was like as he became more and more successful, that ego just got completely out of control. And he would go on these trips and do teacher trainings and open up studios in Asia and in London and all over the place. And then he would come back home to me and, just expect, I would be like, oh, the dog peed there on the floor. Like, can you help me clean it up? And he just, I'm smashed. And I'm just like, who do you think you are? And then I remember like once I was like 27, 28, I remember like going to his warehouse and looking around. He had this whole staff and he had this like assistant coming over and like making him his coffee. I'm like, he can make his own coffee. Like, don't make his coffee. Like, what are you doing? Really I'm like, what the hell? Like,
how old was he?
He was, he's 10 years older than me. So, so when we got married, I was 24, he was 34. So I'm 37 now. So he'd be 47 now. So we're exactly 10 years apart.
So I know that so he started changing, which sometimes that's sad. Success makes people
more of what you are.
They say more of what you are, but sometimes it can confuse people too. And they get kind of, I mean, doesn't have to mean he's a horrible person. It just sometimes just shows I mean, I have known people that got super successful and went haywire for a while and then went back to understanding that was wrong. But I know that you said it was really hard on you. You told me that
it was. And we also had, he had been previously married before me, and he has 2 kids with his first ex-wife. Mm-hmm. And she did not like me. She did not like that I was in Playboy. She did not like that at all. So, and she, her dad, was very wealthy. He's a billionaire in Australia. And Sebastian, her dad, and Sebastian at the time, you know, he was successful, but he was still, you know, because his ex-wife kind of like did this whole thing where she was like, she kind of screwed him in the divorce and like really took him to the cleaners. And he was paying her a lot and had like a lot of expenses. And so when he married me, like tried to get him to sign this document saying that I couldn't be around the kids. They couldn't be around me.
What?
And she kept just doing things to really, you know, like ruin our marriage. So that was hard. So kind of like dealing with her and dealing with the kids. And then just, it was very hard, especially with my, ex-stepson at the time. You know, he was very close to her, and she would say things about me and kind of brainwash the kids. And so it was kind of hard dealing with that. So that was
a lot
of the problem. When we got married, they were 3 and 5. So they were
they're
really
so young.
Yeah.
That's the worst when someone talks like that. That's like the worst. And of course she didn't like you. Which is really sad because you're such a sweet person, but it's just the way you look. You're so beautiful that women get very, very, very jealous. Yes. So then tell us when I know you told me that he went to Vegas, right?
Yes.
And you're still married and you think everything is fine, right?
Right. So, basically, we had such it was one of those relationships where it was very... Thank you. Where it was very passionate and just very toxic. So like when things were great, they were great. When things were bad, they were really bad. And the 6 years we were married, we filed for divorce a couple times, ended up getting back together. I mean, it was like a circus, it was like every day. And it was so unstable because I felt like I didn't really work. You know, I was just kind of like this housewife, and I still did like a little modeling here and there, but he didn't really like that. He did not want me to work. He wanted me to come with him on his trips and just kind of be this wife, this like trophy wife. And so at first it was a lot of fun. And then after a while, I just felt like I had no identity for myself. I didn't know who I was. I just got like really lost. And then, wait, what was the question?
No, that he went to Vegas.
Yes. Okay. So we had filed for divorce, and we had just filed for divorce. And I think, trying to think when it was very sad. We had filed, and I thought like, and then he made it sound like this is the only way my ex-wife is going to, like calm down, like to stop, because she kept taking him back to court all the time. And then she would do all these things and then at one point he told me they were going to, if he didn't pay or something, they were going to come in and start seizing all of our assets. And he was like, I have to divorce you because I don't want you to have, it was all a lie, but he was like, I just don't want you to have to deal with that.
What a
he
dick.
completely lied to me about all this and kind of blamed his ex-wife. He's like, this is the only way we can be together is if we get divorced. Otherwise she's going to keep being in the middle of our marriage. Right. They're going to take all of your stuff. Like what, and I was just like, all right. Like, so we had filed for divorce. We were going to couples counseling. And then, a friend of mine told me it was like Halloween weekend, and she was like, hey, I need to tell you something like, really important. I don't know how to tell you, and my husband doesn't want me to tell you, but I have to tell you. And I'm like, oh, they're probably just going to say they saw like Sebastian at like a Halloween party with another girl or something, like whatever, like, I guess, and she's like, Sebastian got married in Vegas. And I'm like,
while he was married to you?
We had filed. We had filed and it had just been finalized, I guess. Okay. This was like, we had filed in, I want to say like February, but we were still going to couples counseling. So we were still seeing this therapist together. He was helping me with business. We were doing our taxes together.
Well, when you blame the ex-wife, I mean,
right. I was just like, and then he gave me his West Hollywood location, and I didn't realize he just gave it was losing money, and he just gave it to me to keep me busy. So I wouldn't go after him.
Pilates studio in
Yes, the
West Hollywood.
the West Hollywood location. But he gave that to me so I wouldn't go after him for more money in our divorce. And he was like, I'll give her this. It'll keep her busy. In his mind, he's probably like, I'm going to give her this. It'll keep her busy.
Were you trained in his?
No, I wasn't. I didn't know what to do or anything. So. But I know the studio. I mean, I would come in all the time, bring my friends. I would help him out a lot. So I was familiar with it, but I was, running that. And then, so I basically hear, my girlfriend at the time tells me, he went to Vegas and got married to a porn star. I'm like, what? Like, no way. And then I'm thinking like, oh, he's probably, on some kind of crazy drug binge or something, because he liked to party. And so maybe I shouldn't say that. No, I don't want him. He has sued me in the past before.
He has sued you?
Yes, he has. But as long as I don't say his name exactly. So this ex-husband or this ex.
How about I bleep his name out?
Okay. Perfect.
I'm making a note. Yeah, because we can say anything we want as long as it's no name.
Right. Exactly.
I've said a lot about a lot of ex-boyfriends in here. Don't worry.
Exactly.
Yeah, we bleep it out. It's perfect.
Well, he did one time because when he did get married to her, everyone at the studio was asking me, who did he marry? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, just this woman. I was like, I guess she's a porn star. And that was all I said. And I have nothing against porn stars, anything. I'm a very like non-judgmental, open-minded person. It wasn't any kind of attack on her at all. And he sued me for calling her a porn star.
But if she is one.
Exactly. But I guess since she was married to him, she was going to be retired. But I actually won the lawsuit. Because you can't, since he's a public figure, I guess it's like I filed this anti-slap motion. So when somebody's a public figure,
never heard of that.
I guess you can talk about them. So maybe I can talk about it. I don't know.
An anti-slap
since he's a public figure.
Motion.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is he still married to the porn star?
No, they're divorced. But so I find out he's married to her. I'm like, it was so upsetting. And it was basically like, I called him right away and he was like, I'm done. I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, I have moved on. Like, you have the studio. I gave you that. Like, don't contact me anymore. Like I'm with someone else. Like
so you're not going to be
we have no ties together. Like we're done. I'm with someone else. And I was just completely heartbroken. It was like a death, like worse than a death. Because he was kind of like, almost like my dad. Like I didn't even know, like I was so just used to being his wife. I mean, I couldn't even like drive around. I'd be like, where am I going? What am I doing? Help me with directions. Like
that's sad.
It was just so sad. And and then yeah.
So you have to like pick yourself back up, I guess.
But so now what's the most important part, and this is, I think, my favorite part of this whole entire story, is that you have this location. You have a location of a Pilates studio.
Right.
In West Hollywood, Los Angeles, a girl from Mesquite.
Right.
Now you go, okay, fine. I'm going to handle this studio. And then you find out what?
I find out all that stuff. So I was very...
But wasn't it like a losing studio?
Oh, yeah. So that was the thing. So at the time, I was heartbroken. I was devastated. It was losing money. And I had like no motivation to even like get up out of bed because I was so depressed. And I started kind of partying a lot, just was in a really, really bad place. And then I kind of got it together and I was like, look, like this, it was such an amazing outlet for me because, I've had issues with like substance abuse and addiction and things like that. And having that studio, having that place has always kept me kind of healthy and doing something, having a career in fitness and in wellness. It was like my safe place. So I'm so grateful now that that happened in my life and it brought in like a sense of power and it kind of just saved my life. And then I learned how to hire good people. I have a great team, a great manager, and it's become, and then I started kind of turning things around. And then I got certified to teach because I didn't know how to teach or anything. So I went and did my Pilates training and learned to teach and started teaching. And it's been amazing. And I've had that since 2013.
So we have owned several businesses throughout the years, and we know how incredibly difficult it is to run a business, not only to run one, but then to take one that is losing money and is like on the downswing to turn it around and make it successful. Like I remember when I met you, I think it was maybe a couple of weeks later after I first met you, and I just started watching TikToks because of the whole social media thing. And someone was talking about like making
when you do to LA.
When you go to the LA, the main things you have
must
to do, like the top 5 things. And it was like, you must take Pilates at Carrie's. Pilates. I was like, what? That's incredible.
So for those who don't know, now that we're transitioning to your business, like Carrie's Pilates is like it's a famous Pilates studio in LA. I think anybody who knows anything goes there, and it is so beautiful. It's wonderful. It's like a beautiful business that you've created, which I'm assuming at the beginning, did you know you wanted to call it Carrie's? Like, when did you change the name?
It was called Sebastian's Pilates Plus because it was his first studio. So it was kind of cool that I got that.
First one.
It was the first one. But
Ever.
he had gotten so busy with all the licensing and, opening up other studios that he had really let it go. And it was losing all this money. I didn't know that. I was like, this is the flagship studio. It's probably killing it. I'm going to get this business. I'm going to have all this money. And I got he wasn't really bad to me in the divorce, but I think he knew it could have gone one way because he kind of made his money while he was married to me. So he was like, I'm going to just give her this, it's losing. She doesn't know that, but then she'll just, she'll be so invested in that. She won't want to go after me for anything. And she'll let me marrying this other person go. But it did really keep me busy. But yeah, it was losing money. So it was like just having to just kind of, just try different things. And in the beginning, it was like I tried to do so many things on my own the whole time, like working at the front desk, doing payroll, and I'm terrible with math, terrible with numbers. And then I learned like, okay, I better get like a bookkeeper or somebody to help me with this. And it's like I kind of learned, step by step just how to handle things.
When did you change the name?
Yeah.
So I changed the name probably like a few months later. Like I just changed it to Carrie's.
Carrie's Pilates Plus.
Carrie's Pilates Plus. Yes.
Well, did all the like celebrities and famous people went there all the time, correct?
Yes.
When
Yeah.
you changed it, did they drop off or did they still keep coming?
No, they still kept coming. And I would say we have so many clients that came from when Sebastian owned it to, new clients that started coming when I, started owning it. And then even now we get new clients all the time. So it's just like a flow of and then people, move away or they stop coming for a while. They start doing something else. And then, a couple of years later, they come back. So it's just, we have a really massive list now.
Do you know the number?
The number? I don't. I should know though.
That's okay. I have to say, with our crisis in this world with COVID, I thought the most incredible ingenious thing you did is that people couldn't come to your studio, so you went and rented a parking lot.
Yes.
Created a tent. Now, anyone needs to look this up because it's not just any tent. It's like an inside place.
Well, it's like, like a circus tent.
It's like a circus tent. They didn't stop at all the little details. The chandeliers, flower pots, the lights. But now, Christmas time, they lined it with all little Christmas lights. The top of the tent. I saw this yesterday and people are like, this is the cutest thing ever. They say, is this church? It's the most amazing place to go work out. It's incredible.
Well, and she's also, at this point, has created her own machine.
Yes, the Minter
method.
Yes, the Minter method.
Well,
I felt like the only way I was able.
I want one.
Yes, she does want one. She wants a pink one.
Yes,
because then Marcella can come chime in. Right. And when Carrie's in town, she'll come too.
I'm sure there'll be one upstairs soon. We'll have to talk price.
Yeah.
Well, and you've tried. So the point of that, you want to get. I think she's trying to get away. You're creating your own method. Because I was in teacher training for Carrie, and I think, they're trying really hard to get away from it being Legree. Like, it's Carrie's method. It's not Legree. It's, now you have your own machine.
Right. And we're doing different things, we're adding different exercises. It's not a Legree class. I teach my classes kind of like, because we're not just selling a workout. I feel like it's actually like a performance. You want to come in, you want to hear good music, you want it to be high energy, you want it to be fun. Like I love my classes to be like a club, like a party. I want everyone to have a good time, not just like have the music really low and okay, now it's like, and that's great. Like, we all should pay attention to form and all of that, but you want everyone to have a great time. And I really, now I do my own teacher trainings and I really try to present that aspect of it. Like we're selling a performance, like there were, or not selling a performance, but we're selling,
your brand.
Yeah. Like,
well, she has done, I will say, so I was in LA and I took, if you've listened to the show, you knew that I was going, right? And then I was there and I had never taken class at Carrie's ever. And then I had to take a few classes really fast. I hadn't even ever taken a Legree class even. So then I got hooked on Carrie's type of workout. But then, and this is no offense to any studios in Dallas, but I keep telling her, there's just something unique and different. And I think when she says the performance, it's as a teacher, you're not, especially working out, because everybody at some point wants to feel healthier or get in better shape or whatever that might be. And if you've taken a Legree class or if you live in LA and you've taken Carrie's, it is so hard. So if you don't have somebody like motivating you or if the music isn't good, it's almost like you don't want to push yourself. So I think to be a good teacher, you always say, is really tough to be a good teacher. I think
to be a good teacher is a gift from God. I mean this I'm not playing or anything. Not everyone can be a good teacher. So if you have that, that's a gift from God. Marcella has had it. You have it.
Right.
So
a good motivator. Good teacher needs to be a good motivator.
Right.
Well, and you just feel like you accomplish something, or when somebody's like,
I can't teach nothing. He can't teach nothing.
I don't have the patience for it.
Really,
I'm going to do it for you if you don't pick it up faster.
I mean, it's the truth.
You have to tell people, because I know Carrie, and I think obviously me and my mom have always been about women empowerment. Mm-hmm. So I took Carrie's class and I said, my gosh, I got like teary because I was like, to see this beautiful woman standing there wanting to motivate other women to feel beautiful and confident. And in her class, it was so motivating, and you just want to give people that confidence. So I feel like that's why I'm passionate about it. I mean, dancing or the Pilates thing, whatever it may be. And I feel like maybe that's how you feel too, is you want to give people that confidence. So when you leave her class, you feel like you were at a party, you had fun. It's like a club workout. So you're like, yeah, that was awesome.
Well, I think the biggest problem is in our society is that women have such a hard time supporting beautiful other women, and they like to judge the book by its cover, and they don't like to look inside. And from the moment I met you, I've told everyone that you have such a special spirit, you have a special heart, you have but people are gonna look at you and they go, whatever, that kind of thing. And it's hard. I feel like beautiful women have a hard time sometimes. It's not, you're being judged by what you look like.
There was a model who said that once and people got really mad at her. A Victoria's Secret model, I forget who it was. She said it's so hard to be a beautiful woman because like you're judged really harshly, or people aren't very nice to you. And I think I told everybody the work I saw from Carrie, people don't even realize how hard she's working or what it takes to run a business.
I mean, just the fact that she took a failing business basically and turned it around and made it something successful, that alone is incredible. I mean, it's hard enough to start one from nothing, but then a failing one to turn around, that's a whole different thing by itself.
It's a lot of commitment.
Yeah, a lot of commitment.
You definitely don't get weekends off. You don't get to go home and forget about work at 5 o'clock. It's 24/7 if you want to make it.
Yeah.
And then you are also great with picking your people. I mean, that's another skill all in itself, because from what I understand, you have an amazing team. You have an amazing manager. You have people that are running the business when you can't be there, which that is really the biggest issue to making a business successful. To have people being loyal to you.
Do you have a lot of people come in that you get rid of?
That happened in the beginning, I will say. It was kind of just going through different people and things like that. But I feel like now I have a really good team. I do have an amazing manager, and it has kind of worked out because now I'm at
Her
the
name
point.
is Alyssa. Right?
Alyssa, yes. And now it's like I can kind of work from anywhere. I can, I moved back to Texas a couple years ago just to be closer to my family and stuff. And then I can still have the business there. I can fly back and forth, teach when I want, do my own teacher trainings. And I have her running everything. I have a great team of trainers, front desk, all of that. But it took a while to build all of that. But yeah, that is everything, that's so important. I think a lot of it is the team and just having, like I said in the beginning, like I tried to kind of do everything on my own, and there's things I'm really good at and there's things that I'm not. So just knowing that, like, okay, look, I'm not going to be good at everything. So I got to find someone who will be good at those things that I'm not good at.
But knowing that and realizing that is the biggest thing to being successful.
Mm-hmm.
You also have an amazing merch line.
Yes.
Thank
So
you. Your merchandise is incredible.
Virtual program
Which
that you
Marcella
I
is
teach
on.
But I mean, today that's what you have to do, and you have to always be resourceful of what to do when times get tough, and you are doing such an incredible job with that.
So I feel like it's good. I remember we had a guest on named Sarah who also kind of, I love when women come on and tell their stories because I feel like women can get lost sometimes in their marriage or when they have kids, or sometimes you lose your identity. So then when that falls apart, I feel like that happened with you too. Like, everything, you lose your identity and then the marriage is over and you're like,
like, what do I do?
Who
am I? And that's exactly how it felt for me. It was like just trying to start all over again. And just
and that
not
you
knowing who I
can,
was.
and that if you're going through that, you can build yourself back up, and that it's not impossible, even when things are failing or you feel depressed or lost, or you can.
It's all attitude.
Yeah. So I think that's amazing.
You can go either
too.
way.
Yeah, true.
It's all a choice.
Anyone that looks at Carrie knows that she's a badass boss babe.
Yes, exactly.
That's like, I just left that about you, but I wanted to also touch a little bit on how you guys met, because that's just kind of so cool, because Marcella was going through a really hard time when we had to close the dance studio, and it's hard. Like, it's kind of the same. It's almost like a divorce or a death, because when you have an identity that, I mean, for her, she was a dance teacher since she was 3.
Well,
So
dancer.
then-
I didn't teach.
Wow. She was teaching 6 months old at 3.
I was like, wow.
I was a dancer.
That's a true boss baby.
I was bossing around all those 4-year-olds. Get in line.
Pull up your diaper.
I was a dancer.
She was 3, a teacher when she was 15. And then when we closed the studio, it was kind of, I feel like she was kind of lost trying to figure things out. And
No, I was lost. I was kind of lost. It's very lost.
And I remember I swear to God, I remember when she would tell me, I follow these people on Instagram, and there's this one girl, and she is so beautiful and she's so inspiring to me. And there's something about her, and she does Pilates. And if she can do Pilates, I think I can do Pilates too.
I also loved. No, it wasn't like that. I loved
No,
that.
it wasn't like in a negative way.
No, I know. Oh, he would spin it like that.
Oh my God.
If she can do it. Christ, I can
No,
do
that's
this.
not what I meant.
She's gonna.
We know what you meant, baby. Go ahead.
Where's Bernie?
No, I get it, because I think a lot of people, and I struggle with this sometimes too, because I'm not a serious like fitness trainer. Like, I have a lot of, like I have like kind of like a glamour modeling background. Like, I'm very girly. Like, I love pink. I love, I like, being glamorous and being sexy. And I feel like that doesn't fit the stereotype trainer. And I feel like you're the same way with your own brand.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the thing
so-
was, she was trying to figure out, do I do yoga, do I do Pilates? And it's kind of like,
Yeah, because I liked both, and they both have dancer elements to me that I feel like. But I also, with Carrie, I felt, because at the time we have our lingerie business, And
I love that, by the way. That's so amazing.
It's so fun. But you don't get a lot of support from women or people very much. And I was like, well, if I think I saw Carrie and I was like, well, she makes sense. She's inspiring women to feel better about themselves. And
thank you for correcting what I meant to say.
That's what I know. So I thought, maybe because I'm so much about building women up and sometimes we don't get that in return. So I was like, well, what can I do to do that? So then it's that's what led into where I'm at
And
now.
so she always talk about it. And then I remember one day I went to get a facial. I had Roxanne, which is Skinner X, give her a little plug.
Yeah, she was actually on our show.
She came on the show. And I remember laying there and she goes, oh my gosh, you know what? I am really good at matchmaking friends.
I know.
She goes, I'm the best. She goes, I can't matchmake couples, but I have been the best at matchmaking friends. And there's this girl that just moved back to Texas and she needs more friends. And I am telling you, Marcella, I need to get them together because they'd be best friends. And I go,
and we are now.
And I go, that's so great. Marcella actually could use a couple of new friends too.
At the time I was going through also another transition.
So it was just, and I go, well, and Roxanne was actually the one that was like, I swear to you, we need to get them together. They need each other. She was so passionate about it.
Sweet.
And I said, okay, like when should we all go to dinner or something? She goes, yeah.
Carrie and I went on a blind date.
yeah, we did. We got set up on a friend blind date.
like.
It was so cute.
It was so
My
mom was there, Roxanne was there, and then
Robin was there.
Chaperoning.
Yes.
In case things didn't go south.
I mean, and for me, as Marcella's mom, the minute I met Carrie, I was like, this is the weirdest thing. I feel like they're the same human.
It is weird
I
because
felt like I got a second daughter right there. I mean, a third one, but a second one. Marcella.
She also has another daughter.
I know. I mean,
well, every time we go out, people are always like, "Oh, are you girls twins? Are you like?"
But I think it's like
it's the
giggle a lot.
spirit.
Yeah, we laugh a lot.
And even Alyssa, who manages my studio, she's like, she is exactly like you. Like it's just like
really
another
weird.
you. Like when
They're
when I
identical.
talk to you, and even
was
when she
crazy.
did my teacher training, everyone was like, "That is just like Carrie. Like that's just like another Carrie out there."
We get really excited, and I think we like to be happy all the time.
Now we can say we have Marcella and Carrie moments.
Yeah. We have, for anyone that is a first time listener, we used to say things, we call it MM moments, when Marcella has her little blonde moment.
They're little blonde moments.
I have them all the time too. I think we both do all the time. We even like make fun of ourselves all the time because we're like,
Well, one of my favorites, and Carrie, I don't know if she remembers, but I was at teacher training and it was the last day or the second to last day, and everybody has to teach and time was kind of running out. And Alyssa and her look at me and they're like, do you want to go? Do you want to go tomorrow? And I go where? She was like teach. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I thought we were going somewhere.
well, her and I had gone out the night before and we were like a little hungover. And then,
So hungover.
and for me during these teacher trainings, hungover is okay because I don't have to actually teach. I'm just like watching everyone and watching their performance. But I knew Marcella had to. And I'm like, we're like, okay, do you want to, we'll just save it for tomorrow, And she's like, yeah, where are we going tomorrow? What's going on tomorrow? Where are we going? And we're like, well, no, do you want to just do your teach tomorrow? Like your training.
Oh my God, I was laughing so hard because I was like, that made so much sense, which is really hard to do Carrie's workout hungover. That was tough. I was going to die.
So this is a match made in heaven, as everyone can see.
Harry and Lloyd.
We have a lot of fun.
A lot of
We
fun.
do. We have a lot of
such
fun.
a sweet friendship. And I love having you in the family.
I love you so much. I always tell Marcella that. I'm just like obsessed with you. And you're like so gorgeous, so glamorous. You're just like everything I aspire to be.
Oh my
I just adore you.
Well, thank you. I think I want to push that back to you guys. So, most important, most exciting news announcement. You just got engaged.
I just got engaged, yes, which is really exciting.
I need you to show your ring to
Yes.
the cameras.
Where's the camera?
Where is the camera? Oh,
What's her camera?
oh.
This one?
I don't know which one. Which
I
one
did that
is
one right
wider?
there.
Straight ahead, yeah.
Oh, straight.
That one's straight
Oh,
in
okay,
front
right here. Okay. So I still need to get it sized. It's a little too big, but I just haven't wanted to leave it with anyone.
No.
So I'm like,
How many carats?
it's 10 and a half.
Oh my God.
I mean, it is a gorgeous
Gorgeous
ring.
ring.
And she
Thank you
is
so much.
engaged to Tony.
Yes.
And have there been any wedding plans?
So we're thinking about we're thinking spring or summer, but I mean, it's already December and I think spring is going to be that's too fast. So I'm
was
thinking
gonna say,
probably
whoa.
summer. Yeah, probably summer. You're both going to be in it. And you'll be there.
So excited. I cannot wait.
Yes. So we got to start planning it and figuring all that out. But we were thinking it'll be pretty. It'll be nice. I mean, I guess maybe like May, so it's not too hot. But yeah, I got to get to the planning.
Dallas or LA?
Here.
Dallas. That would be so fun.
That's got to be amazing. I want to also bring up something so important because I know how much it means to you. Tell me about your love for dogs.
Oh my gosh, I love dogs so much. So I have 5. But I just love them. I want more. I mean, if I could have all the dogs, I would. There are a lot though. Like, I mean, even like, like today, like, I was like running around and I was like voice noting you. I'm like, I just gotta go home. I gotta get the dogs, make sure everybody's like, gets outside.
They're like
a
her
little treat
children.
or something. They're like kids, and they, you think you have so many dogs, they're all going to get along and play together. They don't, so it's like, I wish they did.
So what dogs do you have? Tell everyone what.
So I have BB and Belle, my 2 Pomeranians. I have Benji. She's like my bigger Maltese. And then I have Brutus, my little Yorkie. And then now I have Tony's dog, my fiance, this big golden retriever
named Lewis.
So I have him in the mix, and he's like 100 pounds, and all my other dogs are little dogs. Yeah.
So when I bring Chanel to Carrie's, we have 6 dogs.
Yes. Oh yeah. We had 6 dogs the other night. It was
like
so
a puppy
much fun.
party.
It was like a puppy party. Yeah.
Patrick's face goes.
Yeah, it's definitely like chaos. It's like
I
we
can
don't
only
even need to like
imagine.
go anywhere or do anything because we're just so entertained with all the dogs
And busy.
and busy.
Yeah.
Well, I only see bright things. And so I wanted to touch on what you two have planned together, which
Yes.
I think is super exciting.
I was so proud of us. So we had a
Yes.
girls' night.
Tell us
this week.
What the plan is in Dallas, because
in Dallas.
Carrie's Pilates studio is in
LA.
LA. West
yes.
Hollywood, Beverly Hills?
West Hollywood.
West Hollywood. So anyone that goes to LA, check it out.
If you haven't yet. Yeah.
If you haven't yet. And then there's
Or the virtual program if you don't want to leave your house.
Yes, exactly.
And then
Take
there's
Marcella's
big plans
class.
for Dallas.
Yes.
What's the virtual program called so people know?
It's just
How do they find it?
Carrie's
Just
Pilates
Carrie's?
virtual program. Yeah, you can. It's on our website. So you can sign up for like where you sign up. It'll show you like outdoor class or virtual class. It'll say virtual
It's all in
studio,
one.
and you just sign up for the virtual studio.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
sign up for Marcella.
Yeah, and Carrie. Are you doing virtual?
I'm not right now. I
No.
was. We should do one together.
I think we should do it while
yeah.
you're here. We should just do it together. I would love that.
Everyone also check out Carrie's machine.
Yes.
Aw,
It is
thank you.
Minta Method, and it is absolutely incredible. And,
And you
have
can
it.
order it, right?
You can.
You can order it
yes.
now with COVID. I think people should have one.
Mhm.
Like,
In the
Also, you can customize your colors.
You
Yes.
can.
Carrie has a
Pink
pink one. I want a
Yes.
pink
I'm
So
sure
if
you
you
will
want a
too.
pink machine or exactly, we can do anything.
It's really cool. And then Carrie and I wanted to do a really cool like pop-up
yeah.
workout, and we want, everybody to come check it out. I wanted Dallas to really get to know Carrie too and know that method of working out because everybody should know how to do it.
So the location is still to be determined,
Yes.
but it will be something like Virgin Hotel or maybe Statler or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
something
We're
like-
gonna start we're thinking we need to be smart and start small. And
well, what I was thinking, I was going to talk to you about this today.
yeah.
We could do that small one like in 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
And then we could do, or even right before, but like maybe we could just do 2. Maybe we could do one that's like more like, kind of exclusive,
trial.
smaller, exclusive.
Yeah.
And then we do the big one.
That's perfect.
And
And I said, and if it goes well, I'm like, we could just pop up whenever she's
I just
here.
like volunteer Tony's house. I'm like, we could just do a smaller one there. And,
But I think it's a smart idea. And then we were going to reach out to some of our friends that are influencer friends and people who want to come and work out because it's such a great workout and people need to know about it.
1,000,000%. I think it's
and it's a lot of fun.
Yes,
we're a lot of fun.
Yes, we're so much fun.
Gina will
the
be
Marcella.
Gino will be
there. Yes, I was so happy he came to your class.
Gino did take my class.
He took your class. Well, he came and it was so cute. He had his camera. He was like,
You mean his cell phone?
pictures. Well, he was like, I'm here to take the photos. I was like, what a
you need to
sweet
take
brother.
class.
That's a very sweet brother.
He is very sweet.
Yeah.
Carrie, is there anything that you would like to say, that you would like to announce, that you would like to add to this whole entire podcast?
No, I mean, I'm having so much fun. This is amazing.
Well, then let's go and call Miss Polly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know for some reason, so Tony thought there were going to be a lot of sex questions. So he was like,
Why?
That's the second podcast.
Sex question?
yes, he goes, he's like, so what are you going to say today? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, but it's a sex podcast. No. I was like, no, it's not.
All right.
So let's do our party with Miss Polly.
Did she
Jingle.
meet Carrie?
Yes.
It's time to party with Miss Polly.
Miss Polly, we have Carrie Minter here. She is a life-size Barbie doll, and she is
Playmate.
a Playmate.
I'm so excited to meet you. I've heard so much about you. You're
Oh my
so
God, I hope
amazing.
it was all good.
It was all
yes. Oh my, the best things ever.
Patrick's here too, Miss Polly.
I miss you so much, Patrick.
I miss you too. You got to get back to Dallas soon to see us.
Please,
I know.
Miss Polly, tell us what question you came up with. We have no idea. I know nothing about it.
Okay, so what do squash, zucchini, cucumbers,
See where this is going.
bottles
Oh, gosh.
have in common?
You can use them as a dildo.
You probably shouldn't use them as a dildo.
She's really right.
You can rinse them off and then eat them as vegetables.
You can't eat
You
a bottle.
really want to
I
do
said
that?
rinse.
No, I don't think it's safe. I don't recommend it. I just
It is not safe, and please do not abuse vegetables and
don't rape the vegetable.
such to be used as sex toys, because my God, there's so many great sex toys. Why would we need to do this?
Now, do people
In a pinch.
actually do this?
Yes, they do. I've like, okay, so I watch porn occasionally.
No way.
What?
Weird.
What
Each
kind
is
of
little.
porn?
Yeah, what-
Research.
Research.
Oh,
She's
okay. I was like, are there any
Research.
recommendations?
Yeah, Miss Polly, what kind of porn are you into? Or do you not want to tell us?
Crickets.
Or are you just all of it?
It just depends on my mood.
Depends what
get
she's
it.
researching.
Depends on my mood. I mean, sometimes
you-
it's BDSM, and sometimes it's, menage.
Vegetables.
I try not to watch the vegetable ones because I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, I know. Now, is it because it can cause injury or like why?
Well, number one, it's really not designed for such.
right.
Number two, certain things you definitely don't, like, say, for instance, somebody decided, let's make it a buffet and let's put some strawberries and grapes and stuff in there.
That's not a
No.
good idea.
You're talking sugar. Do you really want to introduce sugar to your delicate pH balance in there? No, you don't.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
can we talk yeast infections and all
Oh,
kinds of
yeah.
other? I mean, it's so delicate in there as it is.
Right.
in terms of pH balance that, I mean, even a finger can, jack shit up.
Yeah.
So,
So no
No
fruit
pun
in the
intended.
vagina.
no
Yes.
fruit, no vegetables, no bread.
No
No-
bottles.
Yeah, no glass apparently.
No glass.
And I mean, because I've seen things go horribly wrong,
I can imagine.
especially if you're, let's stick this wine bottle.
Oh my God.
up
sounds
her
painful.
vajayjay.
I once saw someone with a champagne bottle that was still full that popped while she was using
What?
it. Yeah, it was
What?
hilarious.
Spider, what
That
did
had
you
to go to
see
the
this?
hospital.
Oh my
Online
God.
somewhere.
What about
Glass-
like a
Yeah.
baseball
floating?
bat?
Mm.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Baseball bat.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I was
Yeah,
thinking of any round object.
I mean, think of the splinters.
Yeah, that's awful.
Mm.
Oh my God.
So that's good
Let's
to
just
know.
say that if you're going to utilize something other than an inanimate object into the vaginal or anal cavity, please make sure that it is designed for such and not something that you might eat or knock a ball around with.
Wow, a wine bottle.
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
All right.
Good to know.
That's my advice for the day.
I love it.
Learn something new every day.
And if you're going to use toys, make sure you use a lube.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh.
well, it's very
Very
Yeah,
important.
Bernie's not here to fight you. on
Yeah.
that now.
Bernie's not here
I'm
anymore.
gonna punch that boy. Spit is not lube.
Oh, okay. So lube is better than spit.
She's
Much
very
better
passionate about it.
Okay.
Is
Pretty
spit better than nothing?
Wait, is spit bad?
Miss Polly's about
It
to
just
freak
dries up really quick.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. That makes
Good
sense.
to know.
Oh, you don't need it for long.
Oh my God.
Am I gonna have to get into one of these other discussions again?
No, you don't.
out. No, we're good.
Question
How
of
much
the
time
day.
we talking?
Yeah. We are going to question of the day.
Oh, I thought that was it.
That's Miss Polly.
Two posh girls ask the question of the day.
And I don't know if we have had this before, but I'm going to go for it. If a person you're thinking about dating, getting to know better, is reckless and careless, for example, racing on the highway with 150 or riding motorcycles like crazy, is that a red flag or don't worry about it?
Is Miss Polly going to go
Huge
first?
red flag.
Tell us.
I think it's a huge red flag because if they're that careless with unless they're a professional, that's kind of my thing. I don't know. Are you a professional race car driver or motorcycle rider? Or are you just a thrill seeker? And if you're just a thrill seeker, I'm not going to be in the car with you.
That's true. I don't think I want to be in the
Because
car.
if you don't have that kind of concern about your own life, what do you have a concern about mine?
True.
Right.
Carrie, what do you think?
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, I kind of agree. I mean, that's scary. I mean, I wouldn't like that at all. I don't want to be.
We know how my
Yeah.
mom feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a huge red flag.
Yeah.
That actually happened to me one time. I was in a dating someone and they thought it was a cool thing to show off and drive the Porsche like in Europe, like 230 kilometers an hour down the highway, and I almost like had a heart attack for real.
Yeah.
Needless
Yeah,
to
that's
say,
so
I
scary.
didn't date them for long.
Yes. No.
Patrick,
No.
is that a red flag for you?
I mean, I think that's just horrible. I don't
I think so,
understand the
too.
whole entire thing.
I've never been like a thrill seeker like that, so I never really thought about it.
I just think it's scary.
That's
Like
good.
I don't-
most of them don't
I mean,
stop though. So then you're
I like
the
adrenaline,
wife.
but
Yeah.
when I don't want to die over it.
No.
I think people like that have to have some sort of self-esteem issues or something. They think they're tough doing that, and they're trying to impress you,
Right.
which
It's not impressive.
look at her. What were you saying, Miss Polly? People that can't see you.
Oh,
Because it's a podcast, so
Small
not
penis.
everyone can see it.
Sorry, I was waving my little pinky around. Kind of the little penis syndrome thing, you know?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
I agree.
I don't think adrenaline seekers are insecure, but I think that
Not necessarily that, but you know.
I think maybe the guy who takes like his sports car with you in the car to try to impress you, maybe. But there are people who
like
are
that one guy.
I think that's where
I think any guy trying to go
came
above
from.
and beyond to impress somebody with
think that's how she
something
got the
anywhere
question.
along those lines is kind of a little insecure.
A lot insecure.
If you got to use like a car or a motorcycle to impress a girl, you're behind the 8 ball to begin with.
True.
I just don't understand the point of scaring someone. Like, what's cool about that?
Maybe
It's
they don't
not-
think you're going to get scared.
But
Well-
if you say you're scared and you want
Oh,
them
well,
to
that's
stop
horrible.
and they don't.
Yeah, I've actually never even had that happen. So
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, and I've never had it happen where they didn't stop. Like I've been like, I'm scared, like, you know, stop driving like
So
that. Or,
this
you know.
whole question can also go into, I feel like, guys trying to force you to take drugs or drink or all that
Peer
kind of
pressure.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of peer pressure.
I don't
thing.
like that either. Yeah, that's very
like that kind of like, oh, if you don't take that with me, then
I know. I'm
You're
like,
not
what are you, a
Like,
rapist?
how old-
Like-
Come on. How old are you?
Yeah.
right.
that just gives
Come
total rape vibes.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Rape vibe.
I'm gonna leave right away. We're
You
around a
can't
bunch of
rape
rapists
Willie.
tonight. Yeah.
See ya.
Well, everyone, we have to wrap up.
Yes,
because
but-
another show coming on.
I want Carrie to give all her social media
Yes.
for herself and the Carrie's Pilates Plus.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So my Instagram is at Carrie Mentor, and then my studio Instagram is at Carrie's Pilates Plus, and that's it.
Yeah. And I think on if you do want to
Oh, we
do
also have at Mentor Method. If you are interested in purchasing your own Pilates machine, or even interested in opening a studio,
Yeah,
or
and-
even a cool outdoor location with COVID.
Oh yeah, that's right, with their stuff. And Mentor, she spells MINTER.
TER.
Also, if you're looking for the classes, they are on the Instagram. I think you just click a link.
Yes, just click our link, and that'll bring you to our website.
Yeah.
The virtual.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Miss Polly, thank you
Love
so
you.
much.
So nice to
And
meet
we're
you, Miss
done
Polly.
for
Thank
today.
you.
Miss Polly, we
I'm
love
glad you
so much.
feel better.
Yes. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.